His phone shuts itself down at 10 sharp every night. Babe, my battery's dead. Heading to sleep. 10:03 p.m. Same as yesterday. Same as the day before. Same as every single day for the past 3 years. I stared at the blacked out chat window and suddenly remembered something. Last week he'd worked overtime until 1, yet the phone had still gone dark at 10. His charger was right there, plugged into the bedside outlet. My name is Stella, 29, married 5 years, hubby and I met in college. He teaches high school physics and pulls $1,200 a month. I'm a CPA at a private firm. 800. We live in the marital townhouse his parents gave us, no mortgage. Life isn't lavish, but we're comfortable. Mom always says I'm lucky to have landed an honest man. Daniel really is the reliable type, no smoking, no drinking, hands me every paycheck, never socializes after work. He's home for dinner on the dot, then camps on the couch with a book. Only quirk, that scheduled phone shutdown. Protects my eyes, he claimed. Nothing urgent ever happens after 10 anyway. I bought it for 5 straight years until last Wednesday. I'd clocked out early and swung by his school to drop off a jacket. The guard told me, Mr. Hart left at 4. I called, powered off. I WhatsApped, no reply. He walked in at 7, claiming he'd been stuck in meetings. I didn't challenge him, but I stored the moment away because on the collar of that jacket I found a single long strand of hair. Not mine. I keep mine short, he knows that. The hair was long, black, perfumed with a stranger's scent. I said nothing. Starting the next day, I watched Daniel's current phone, bought last year, unlocks with touch. We never save each other's prints. No need, he'd said. It's not like I have secrets. Looking back, the irony is deafening. Friday night, while he showered, I tested the handset. 6-digit PASSCODE. His birthday wrong. Mine wrong. Our wedding date wrong. His mom's birthday bingo. My fingers shook. WhatsApp's top pin chat, me. Second, an unnamed avatar. I tapped it. The history was blank except the banner read typing exactly 10. The phone killed itself. The instant the screen blacked out, the bathroom water stopped. I slid the handset back. My heart pounded. Babe, why aren't you watching TV? Daniel emerged, towel drying his hair, calm as ever. I smiled. Waiting for you. He bent down, kissed my cheek. Let's turn in. Workday tomorrow. I lay awake until 3. Saturday morning, Daniel said the school needed him and left. Sure, I answered. Once he was gone, I opened my laptop. I'm an accountant. Forensic numbers are my native tongue. I started with our joint statements. Daniel's $1,200 salary hits my account every month. 3 fiscal years, not a dime missing. I checked his for $101K. And health insurance contributions clean. Credit cards, he swore he didn't carry any. I logged into the credit report portal and keyed in his SSN. 3 cards popped up. 2 I recognized opened when we applied for our mortgage, now canceled. The 3rd carried a $20,000 limit. Opened September, 3 years ago, our 2nd anniversary. I remember that month he told me the school had given him a bonus and taken me out for steak. Was that dinner really celebrating something else? I drilled deeper. The billing address for that card was a subdivision I'd never heard of, Eastbrook. We live in Westbrook. My hands trembled again, but I forced them steady. Accountants, no emotion clouds audits, only evidence talks. I opened my notebook. Item 1, secret card opened 3 years ago. Item 2, bills mailed to unknown housing tract. Item 3, phone ritual kill switch at 10. Item 4, Mia last Wednesday. Item 5, foreign hair on collar, 5 bullets still not enough. Afternoon, Daniel returned, saying faculty had met about midterms. I told him he must be tired and poured him water. Want to go somewhere tomorrow? I asked. To beat. Let's stay in. Fine, I'll hit the grocery. Sounds good. I grabbed my purse but steered clear of the supermarket. I hailed a rideshare to that subdivision, Eastbrook, Lakeside. Gated, but the guard barely glanced up. I tailed an SUV through the arm. Inside, anxiety hit. I didn't have a unique number, only the complex name. I wandered to Loops, gleaning nothing except an HOA notice taped by an elevator. Water shut down next week. I snapped a photo and rode home. Daniel dozed on the sofa, handset on the coffee table, still before 10. Screen lit. The unnamed avatar had texted, coming over tonight? I clenched my fists. Sunday night I made my decision. I had to get into that phone before the 10 o'clock wipe. 9:30, I announced I was hitting the shower. Daniel, eyes on the late news, grunted sure. I didn't. I cranked the faucet to mask noise and crept to the living room. Just as he headed for the bathroom, the handset lay on the couch. 2-minute window. Passcode his mom's birthday accepted. Straight to WhatsApp settings I went. Auto delete set for 10 every night, aligned with the shutdown. He wasn't saving battery, he was burying evidence. I rapid-fired screenshots. Exited, replaced the phone, toilet flushed, back to the bathroom I slipped, now truly under the spray. The water scalded, but I felt ice. That night, listening to the even breathing beside me, I replayed our wedding. Stella, you're the only woman I'll ever love. Last Valentine's bouquet, babe, Morgan for growing old with me. Last month him waiting downstairs after overtime, slow down, I've got you. All punchlines now. Sam, I took a half-day. One objective, pull his location history. We each own the same generation iPhones bought together. He'd suggested sharing one Apple ID, so we could track each other if lost. Classic fox guarding the henhouse. I logged in on my MacBook, 3 months of pins populated. Emory through Friday, school, home. Every Thursday, though, a 4 to 6 p.m. Detour appeared, destination Lakeside. I hadn't guessed wrong, and it wasn't only Thursday, some weekends he went, too. On the very days he'd told me school meeting, I screenshotted every record and saved them. Then shut the laptop and left for work. After I got to my office I did one thing. Applied for a $50,000 personal loan. Daniel had no idea I kept a secret checking account. Mom had given me the dowry money, $120,000 I'd never touched. Now I would. I was hiring a private investigator. The pie came recommended by a colleague. She divorced last year. This detective had gathered the proof. Very professional, she said, but expensive. How much? Basic investigation, $10,000. Thailand photo evidence billed separately. I said fine. That afternoon I met him, a man in his 40s, last name Cole, brief and to the point. What do you want checked? My hubby, Daniel, 32, high school physics teacher. I suspect infidelity. How much intel? I passed over my notebook. He scanned it. GPS pings every Thursday to Lakeside, yes. Credit card billing address the same, yes. What else? Phone shuts down every night at 10, chat history auto deletes. Vincent nodded. He's a pro. My stomach lurched. What do you mean? Ordinary cheaters panic and slip. Your hubby's routines are locked in. That didn't happen overnight. My heart sank. How deep can you go? Unique number, woman's ID, timeline, cohabitation, what level? All of it. $30,000. I didn't bargain. I'll have it in a week. Those 7 days I was the Walking Dead. Every night I came home, cooked, washed dishes, made small talk exactly as always. He was still the same man, gentle, thoughtful, cracking a joke now and then. Wednesday night he suddenly hugged me. Babe, you seem down lately. I flinched. No, why? You've looked distracted. I smiled. Big workload, that's all. He ruffled my hair. Take a long vacation this year, we'll travel. Sounds good. Where to? You pick. He thought a second. Yunnan, you've always wanted to go, okay. That night I dreamed we were really there in a guest house by Air High Lake. Daniel stood on the balcony and said, Babe, I love you. I woke up with the pillow wet. Dylan morning, Vincent called, results. Let's meet. I went to a cafe. He handed me a brown envelope. Lakeside, you need 3 to 600 too, he said. Purchased 3 years ago, sole owner, your hubby. Down payment $200,000, mortgage $500, monthly mortgage payment $3,500. I stared. $200,000 down, where'd he get it? Gift from his parents. Heat surged to my head. Daniel's folks had always been polite, deferential. When we married they paid for the marital townhouse and said that was it, time for us to make our own way. I'd believed them. Now they'd secretly bankrolled another place? What about the woman? Last name Monroe, goes by Lily, 28, art teacher in the middle school across from Daniel's. How long together? Started the second year of your marriage, 3 solid years. I slid the photos out. Pretty, long hair, a dimple when she smiled. That stray hair must have been hers. What's their status? Cohabiting, Vincent said. And he paused, and she's 5 months pregnant. I don't remember leaving the cafe. Only the brutal sun on the street that made me dizzy. 5 months. Which put it at March. Daniel and I had been discussing trying for a baby. He'd asked me to wait until his promotion and raise came through. Turns out he already had a child on the way, just not with me. I sat on a bench for a long time. Phone rang. Daniel. Babe, what do you want for lunch? Whatever, tomato and egg stir fry, sure. What time will you be back? Soon. I hung up. His avatar glowed, our wedding photo, his arm around me, grinning. 3 years. 3 whole years, he told me, babe, I love you by daylight. Then killed the phone at 10 to sleep beside someone else. He handed me every paycheck while his parents bought her a house and a future. He swore he owned no credit card yet there was one with a 20-gram limit maxed out on them. He claimed the nightly shutdown was to protect his eyes, really it wiped the chat logs clean. He'd played the perfect hubby for 3 years. I'd played the perfect fool. At noon the meal waited when I walked in. Wash up, food's getting cold. Watching him in that apron, I felt I was looking at a stranger. Did I know this man at all? Over lunch he asked, plans this afternoon? None. Want to hit the grocery? We're out of detergent, okay. We left like always, wheeling the cart up and down aisles. When we passed the baby section, he didn't slow, didn't even glance over. Top tier acting. Back home I said I was tired and needed a nap. He said sure, rest, I'll start the laundry. I lay in bed listening to the washer thrum. Phone in hand, I texted Vincent, what else do I need? For divorce, what you've got is plenty deed, GPS logs, photos, her ultrasound report. Can I prove he hid marital assets? Those credit statements will. He's run up to 100 grand on her side over 3 years. Compile everything for me. Tomorrow. I set the phone down and shut my eyes. Evidence scrolled in my head, deed in his name alone, credit bills packed with gifts for her. Ultrasound stating 24 weeks. 24 weeks. In 6 months that baby would be born. While I was still dumb enough to wait for promotion before kids. I opened my eyes. No more waiting. Emory. I went to a law office. Attorney Wells, mid-40s, 15 years in family court. I laid every proof on her desk. She read 10 minutes, then looked up. Evidence is solid. What can I get? Adultery, proven cohabitation, the other woman pregnant constitutes major fault. She flipped through the papers. What marital assets do the two of you own? The marital townhouse in Westbrook. His parents gave it to him before the wedding, deed in his name. Then it's his separate property. I know, but I have $120,000 dowry that's untouched. And for the past 5 years I've earned $8 a month. After living expenses I've saved about $150. That's your separate property, he can't touch it. What about the lakeside place? He bought that during the marriage. The down payment came from his parents. Attorney Wells thought for a moment. If we can prove the down payment was a gift from them, it can be classified as his separate property. If we can't, it's marital assets. How do we prove it? We'd need his parents' bank statements and a gift letter. What if they refuse to cooperate? Attorney Wells smiled. Then it works in your favor. No evidence, it's presumed community. I nodded. Anything else? Emotional damage award. Under the Civil Code, a spouse at major fault gets a smaller share. The innocent spouse can claim damages. Your hubby 3 years cheating, the mistress pregnant qualifies as egregious. I can fight for 1 to 200,000. Can he even pay? He earns $12,000 a month, right? If the court orders it, they'll garnish his wages. Can't pay. He'll pay in installments. I drew a long breath. All right. I retain you. When do we file? I considered. I'm waiting for the right moment. What moment? I want to ask him face to face. Attorney Wells studied me, sure? Have my clients soften at that step. I shook my head. I won't, why? I stared out the window. Because my heart's already dead. On the drive home, Daniel called. Babe, I'll be late tonight, surprise faculty meeting. What time? Around 9, okay. I hung up. Opened location sharing, he was at the school. Then he began to move, heading east. Toward Lakeside, I watched the red dot crawl closer to that address, then it stopped. You need 3-60 to dot for in the afternoon, 5 hours before his meeting ended. He'd spend those 5 hours there dot with that woman and the baby inside her. Meanwhile I'd wait at home, hear him say, faculty meeting wore me out. Suddenly I was done waiting. That night I made a decision. Thursday Lakeside. Catch them in the act. Quinn. I clocked in, came home, cooked dinner, business as usual. Daniel noticed nothing. He still murmured, babe, once this week's over, let's catch a movie Saturday. I said sure. Jamie, I took PTO. At 2 I parked outside Lakeside. Waited. 3 Daniel's car appeared. He pulled up to building 3, climbed out with 2 grocery bags of fruit, and disappeared into the stairwell. I watched from a distance, motionless. 2 hours I gave them. 5 o'clock, I walked in, rode the elevator to 6. Outside 602 I stood for 3 minutes. Voices inside, laughter. Daniel's voice. Was the little darling good today? Perfect, just kicked me. Really? Let me feel. More laughter, a woman's voice, soft and blissful. I inhaled, pressed the bell, the voices cut off. Who is it? The woman asked. No one opened. I pressed again. The door cracked, half a face appeared, Lily. She blinked at me. Who are you looking for? My hubby. Her color drained. I'm Daniel's wife, Stella. The one he's been married to for 5 years. Footsteps behind her, Daniel's face surfaced. When he saw me, he froze solid. Summers, Stella? In the flesh. He tried to slam the door, I shoved back. Closing it won't help. I know everything. Lily turned paper white. She looked at Daniel, voice quivering. Daniel, you said the divorce was underway. I gave a thin smile. Divorce papers? Daniel opened his mouth, nothing came. What exactly did he tell you? I asked Lily. That we're strangers? That I'm barren? That I'm crazy? Lily stared. I pulled our marriage certificate from my purse. Married 2019. Then a photo. Chinese New Year at his parents' this year. Lily's eyes reddened. He said, you'd been separated ages. Separated? We share a mattress. 2 nights ago he spooned me whispering, babe, love you. You're lying. Daniel barked. Stella, stop making things up. Lying? I produced a sheath of printouts. Your location logs every Thursday for 3 years. Daniel's face went green. Your credit card history 200 grand. Every cent spent here. Jewelry, Rowan, ultrasounds, all logged. His hands shook. Title deed for this condo 200K down payment. Wired from mommy and daddy. You know, the ones who have no money. Lily's tears fell. Daniel, you lied to me. I didn't. Daniel yelled. Lily, listen to what? I couldn't. Explain how you lived with me while bankrolling a mistress. How you told me to wait for your tenure before kids while she's 6 months along. It's different. Different how? He opened his mouth, no sound. Tell me different how? His lips twitched, silent. Lily clutched her belly, sliding against the wall, ghost pale. Daniel, you promised, once the baby came you'd divorce her. I faced her. He said he'd divorce me after the birth? She nodded, sobbing. He said you two were over, that you only wanted the house. Once the baby arrived he'd walk away with nothing and marry me. I gave a cold laugh. Walk away with nothing? I turned to Daniel. Know what the law calls this? Adultery, mistress pregnant, major fault. I can take half of Lakeside and sue you for emotional damages. You'll walk away without the shirt on your back. Daniel's face bleached. Stella, let me explain, save it. I drew the final document. Divorce petition finished. Lakeside transfers to me. You keep nothing, sign. Daniel stared at the petition, hands trembling. Stella, don't be rash. Rash? I laughed. You cheated for 3 years. I investigated for 2 weeks. That's rash? His flush spread from collar to ears. That house was bought with my parents' money, purchased during the marriage, and you don't have a single written document proving it was a gift to you alone. Legally, it's marital assets. But the down payment, $20,000 down, 3 years of monthly mortgage payments, you've paid off 12, 38 still left. Market value today is $1.1 million. When we split the marital assets, I get half. Daniel's lips trembled. You'd already run the numbers. Yeah. I'm an accountant. Lily was crying softly beside us. I glanced at her. Stop crying, he lied to you and he lied to me. But let me remind you of one thing, if he could deceive his own wife for 3 years, what makes you think you matter to him? She cried even harder. I didn't know, I really didn't know he was still married. Whether you knew is your problem, I said. But this baby, you'd better decide right now whether you're keeping it. He can't even keep his own life straight. You expect him to support the two of you? Lily clutched her belly, shaking with sobs that Daniel suddenly stepped forward. Stella, don't push me. I took a step back and raised my phone. What, you're going to hit me? I'm recording. Touch me once, and I'll call the cops, plus tack on domestic violence. He froze. You're that heartless? Heartless? I stared straight into his eyes. Daniel, you slept with another woman for 3 years, got her pregnant, and used our marriage as your cover. And you're asking me if I'm heartless? You what? Say it. He opened his mouth. Haven't I treated you well? For 5 years I handed over every paycheck, helped with chores, never forgot an anniversary. That's your idea of treating me well? I burst out laughing. Daniel, that's what you call treating me well? You lived with me while bankrolling someone else, and that's good to me? You told me to wait until you got tenure before we had kids, then you got her pregnant first and you call that good to me? It's different. Different how? Lily, her health. The doctor said after 30 it'd be nearly impossible for her to conceive, so he couldn't finish. Lily lifted her tear-streaked face. You told me you only did it because I was sick. No. Lily, I truly love you. Then why did you lie and say the divorce was finalized? I was afraid you'd leave me. I watched the spectacle with cold eyes. Enough. Both of them looked at me. Sign. I held the divorce petition out to Daniel. I don't have time for your soap opera. Daniel's face contorted. Stella, don't force my hand. I'll blow this up at school, at your office. Let's all go down together. Go ahead. I pulled a sheet from my bag. Here's your tenure paperwork. You landed the permanent position last year, right? County policy, a teacher can be stripped of tenure for a major code of conduct violation. Tell me, does adultery, Casey, and fathering a child out of wedlock qualify as major? Daniel's complexion changed completely. You, make your scene. When you're done, no more tenure. I'll simply switch jobs. You'll be stuck subbing forever. His hands shook. Stella, you've changed. You changed first. I offered him the pen. Sign 9. Daniel didn't sign. He flung the papers to the floor and stormed out. Lily started after him, then stopped and looked at me. He wouldn't really abandon me, would he? I bent, picked up the petition and dusted it off. No idea, but I'd brace for the worst. Tears streamed down her face again. What am I supposed to do? The baby's 6 months along. That's your mess, not mine. I turned to leave. At the door I paused. There's one last thing I should say. She lifted her head. Whether you truly didn't know he was married or just pretended not to, you share the blame. When you met him, did you ever bother to check his marital status? She lowered her head, silent. You chose the road, now walk it. I stepped out and into the elevator. The door slid shut just as heartrending wails echoed from inside the condo. Not my problem anymore. Outside the complex, I messaged Attorney Wells. He refused to sign. Ready to file. Got it, we'll open the case tomorrow. I pocketed my phone and walked. The sun was setting, pedestrians hurried past. A young couple strolled by, the girl's head on the boy's shoulder. I glanced, then looked away. Back home the rooms felt hollow. Daniel hadn't returned. I cooked a simple dinner, ate half, and tossed the rest. At 9 his mother called. Stella, Daniel says you want a divorce, correct? But everything's fine, why divorce? Just a tiff, right? Let Dad and me come mediate. Mother heart, ever heard of the lakeside condo? Silence on the line. The one you gave him the down payment for so he could house his mistress. Stella, listen, save it. My voice stayed flat. You claimed you had no money and told us to build our own future, yet you slipped your son 20 grand so he could Casey. I honored you for 5 years, and this is how you repay me? Well, Daniel said that woman's family was struggling. Struggling? She's an art teacher, salary's no lower than mine. You felt sorry for her, but not for me? In 5 years, what did you ever buy me? Want to tally how much I spent on you? No answer. I'll handle the divorce through the courts. Cooperate, or everyone loses. Stella, I hung up. 10 on the dot, my phone rang. Daniel. No scheduled shutdown tonight. Stella, I know I was wrong then. I'll cut her off, okay? Can we start over? Start over? I laughed. So what happens to her 6-month fetus and abortion? She can decide, 6 months, and you want her to abort? You realize what that does to a woman's body? You're abandoning her? He went quiet, see? Zero sincerity. You just want to sweep it under the rug and keep to books. Sorry, I'm done playing, Stella. Court opens the case tomorrow, expect your subpoena. I ended the call. Blocked him. That night I slept like a rock. Not a single dream. Next day Attorney Wells confirmed the filing. A process server chased Daniel down and handed him the papers. The same afternoon his parents cornered me outside my office. Stella, you can't do this. Mother Hart grabbed my arm. Daniel is your hubby, Alex. I won't let go. Divorce if you must, but you're not taking the lakeside condo. We paid for it. I shook her off. Mom, that house was bought during the marriage, and you have no written proof the down payment was a gift to Daniel alone. Legally, it's marital assets. Law, Shema. That's our sweat and blood money. Your sweat and blood money financed your son's mistress, and now you want it back from me? Her face flushed crimson. That girl, Daniel found her himself. We didn't know. You didn't know? You wired the down payment and you didn't know what the house was for. She choked on her own words. Dad finally spoke. Stella, there's no need to be so ugly. Our family's been good to you. 5 years under our roof. No worries about food or clothes, no worries? A laugh popped out of me. Dad, I make 8 grand a month and paid half the living expenses. Every holiday I brought you gifts. For Mom's birthday I bought her a gold bracelet. When you were hospitalized 3 years ago I forked over 20,000. And you call that no worries? His face reddened too. Well, didn't Daniel hand you his whole salary? Sure, 12,000, every penny. Then he bankrolled a mistress, bought a house, and covered the monthly mortgage payment with your money. Great parenting, truly. Mom panicked. How can you be so unreasonable? I pulled a stack of papers from my bag. Here's every dollar Daniel spent over there in 3 years. Down payment $20K. Monthly mortgage payment $12,000. Living expenses $18K. Medical bills $5K. Total $55K. Did all of that come from you? They froze. Can you even come up with $55K? Mom's voice shrank. We only paid the down payment. The down payment was $20K. The remaining $35K he siphoned from our joint funds. He handed me his salary, sure, but he maxed out his credit card every month for 3 years and racked up debt. Did you know? Their expressions crumbled. How much? 8 grand on the credit card, 3 on a predatory online loan, 11 total. Under the law, that's marital debt. If you don't cover it, it comes out of my share. Mom's knees buckled. How did it get so high? Ask your son. I shoved the papers back into my bag. Let me give you some free advice. Cooperate with the discovery, split the marital assets quietly, and everyone keeps their skin. Keep fighting, and even your precious marital townhouse might slip away. How dare you? Mom shrieked. That house was for Daniel. Was the premarital gift made to your son alone or to the two of us as a couple? Show me the letter. She stood slack-jawed. I turned and walked into my office building. Behind me Mom's wail trailed off. You heartless viper. How did Daniel marry someone like you? I didn't look back, heartless. I just stopped playing the fool. The divorce dragged through family court for 2 months. Daniel balked at every proposal until Attorney Wells wore him down. The lakeside condo was awarded to me at 65%. His adultery, cohabitation, and unborn child tagged him the at-fault party. We sold the place for $95K. My cut was $60K. The judge also slapped him with an $8,000 emotional damage award, payable in installments. His tenured position survived. I never filed the code of conduct violation. Attorney Wells asked why. He's already wrecked, I said. Take his job, and he'll never pay me a dime. You're sweeter than you look, she laughed. Not sweet, practical. The day the papers were final, I saw Daniel one last time, outside the city clerk's office. He'd lost weight, eyes sunken, stubble everywhere. Stella, something else? I'm sorry, MMHMM. If we could start over, there's no rewind. I held his gaze. Daniel, you don't owe me an apology. You owe me 3 years of youth, trust, and love. You can't repay that. He looked at the ground. I know, then we're done. I walked away. A few steps on, he called after me, Stella. I paused, didn't turn. You'll find someone better. I smiled, obviously. And I kept walking, never looked back. 1 year later, I'd switched jobs, now a finance manager at a listed company. Won $5K a month plus year-end bonus. Used $40,000 of the $60K to buy a small flat in Southside. Tiny, but mine. Saturday. College classmates wanted lunch. They knew about the divorce and kept offering blind dates. Stella, my coworker's cousin, pass. You'll get lonely, nope. I sipped my bubble tea. I'm good. Eat what I want, wake up when I want, no in-laws, no sweaty socks in the hamper, pure freedom. And later can wait. After lunch I teetered past Lakeside. The building still stood, Unit 602, lights on. Word was Lily had the baby, a girl. Daniel never married her, his mom vetoed it. Bastards are shameful, the kid won't get proper papers. Lily moved back home, baby on her hip. Daniel? Still teaching, hair rumored half white now. I glanced at the building and kept walking, stopped at a florist, bought a bunch of sunflowers. Back home I arranged them in a vase on the windowsill. Sunlight poured in, gold on gold. Phone rang, a known number. Hi, is this Stella speaking? XX Bank here, your new credit card's approved $10,000 limit, thanks, Morgan. I hung up and grinned. 10 grand. Double Daniel's old 5. Outside the sky was blue, clouds white. I lay on the sofa, staring at the ceiling. 3 years ago I thought I'd grow old with Daniel. Now the idea felt like a joke. Some people deserve forever, some don't deserve a second glance. Glad I finally know the difference. Phone buzzed again, WhatsApp. I opened it, new project alert from HQ. Avery, new launch next week. Free tomorrow for a briefing. I typed, sure, set the phone down and headed to the kitchen. Tonight I'm cooking something nice just for me. Doorbell rang, delivery guy, I signed. Tore open the box. My new countertop oven, unpacked it, parked it in the corner. Cupcakes, here I come, life goes on. And so do I. Only now, it's for me.